The hummingbirds. These are images about the first nest from the year 2022, and the ones that I will show later in the video are about the second nest of 2022. This bird built both nests in the same pomegranate tree. Just over a month after building his first nest, this hummingbird returned to build his second nest. On both occasions, two young hatched. And so I show you a little information about this bird, hoping that you consider contributing to the biodiversity of the local ecosystem. I hope you like it, and let's start. The hummingbirds. All the different species of the genus of birds inhabit almost the entire American continent. More than 300 species have been documented. One of them is considered the smallest bird in the world. That is the Sunsuncito hummingbird, Melisuga helenae. This bird is native to the island of Cuba. It measures approx 5 centimeters and weighs approx 3 grams. The largest hummingbird is the giant hummingbird, Patagonia gigas, which measures approx 25 centimeters and weighs approx 20 grams. This bird pollinates the flowers of the plants from which they take nectar. The tubular-shaped flowers are the most frequent to visit. Among the flowers that they frequent, the most are those of bright red, orange, yellow, and pink colors. Some of these birds consume food equivalent to 5 times their weight per day. Perhaps there is a bird smallest than this which has not been discovered until today. In the different varieties of this genus, there are different species of different sizes, colors, big shapes, feathers, legs, and different behaviors such, and mating dens and the construction of their nests. It is a bird that rests, sleeps, and hibernates. Although this daily activity does not allow him to do it for a long period of time, since its metabolism is very accelerated. It must search for its food many times a day, and sometimes travel a long way to obtain it, avoiding predators such as snakes, praying mantises, hawks, tarantulas, small cats, and even some bats. The nests are built mainly of vegetable fibers, small branches, some leaves, and spider webs. Its main food is the nectar of flowers, although it also feeds on small insects and arachnids. They supplement their diet with fruit flies, mosquitoes, wasps, beetles, ants, and other small insects. This can make up 10 to 20% of your diet, and they increase this consumption in the breeding season, since the young need a diet that helps their proper development, with a diet rich in proteins, minerals, and vitamins. When you see it up close, you will get a message. That message is different for everyone, different for each person. And you'll know what that message is when you will get it. His heartbeat has been calculated at 1200 times per minute. That is 20 times per second. They live at altitude ranging from sea level to 4,500 meters above sea level. They live in grasslands, rainforests, shrublands, savannas, prairies, forests, deserts, mountains, plains, and have adapted to living in urban settings. Places where flowers and nectar can be found. Around there, the hummingbird will settle. It is estimated that most live for about 4 years in the natural habitat. They don't sing, they squeak. Hear the sound. Although another bird is heard in the background. unlike another birds that squawk, warble, or repeat or imitate sounds. This bird only makes this sound. This bird only makes this sound. In most hummingbird species, their eggs are about 1 centimeter from end to end. This is because not all species are the same size, of course. It is one of the smallest vertebrates. It is one of the migratory animals. It is one of the animals that hibernate. They are not very suitable birds to keep in captivity, as they need a wide space so they can move. In fact, all birds need a wide and large space where they can fly or move. Don't clip their wings but keep them in captivity. Some birds need a little light, others are very nervous and can die when humans are around them for so long. Others damage their feathers, heads, and legs in cage. Imagine that you were kept in a cage to enjoy the sound of your laughter, your tears, and your anger. And while you ask for freedom, others enjoy your screams, while they'll give you the same amount of heat and water. Brad Bill Hummingbird. Its plumage is of green, gray, blue, and purple tones that can be perceived in different brightness. Its beak is dark at the top and red at the bottom. Although this varies from bird to bird. There are some that have more red tones, and there are others that have less red tones. But it's the same species of hummingbird. This bird every night slows down its bodily functions, hibernates. It seems to be honored, dead, it stays cold. You can touch it and it doesn't wake up. Its heartbeats are almost imperceptible to the human ear, or completely imperceptible. And it is because of these behaviors that the Mesoamerican people suppose that the hummingbird died at night and was resurrected in the morning. And they associated him with Tzilopochtli, a deity. They associated him with the dead and with the life. They associated him with the night and with the day. And he was associated with many other things as well. Among those things is a popular saying that is counted among the peoples that are still alive. When you have a hummingbird in your house, in your home, it means that an ancestor is visiting you, that someone who passed away comes from the underworld to visit you. The messenger of the sun. Every day is another cycle, and every season another, and the life of the hummingbird is another one that will carry messages from the cycle of man. How does man behave in these times? The hummingbird heralds abundance and diversity. When man no longer sees the hummingbird flying next to him, it will be because abundance has abandoned him. because of his unnecessary willingness to destroy his environment and leave his natural brothers without sustenance. The message will be taken to another place. It will reach the Mictlan and the sun. And man will fall into poverty, feeding his mind and heart with garbage. And the army of the smallest of the natives will arrive to reduce the plague of men. And the message will have arrived once again. The messenger of the sun. Text reading by Daniel NECROL. Huitzilopochtli, hummingbird that's going on the rise and never dies. Messenger of the sun and the moon, day and night guide. Supreme warrior, son of the sun. And the mother of all, made of jade and obsidian. Jaguars, snakes, quetzals, and eagles. That is the hummingbird rooted in Mesoamerican culture. Among the texts that I have written about the history of the hummingbird, there is one that I will relate below. Coatlicue, the mother of all. She received a gift sent from the sun, a hummingbird feather, so small and beautiful in color. She kept it making a wish while looking at the moon. His wish would come true at dawn. His youngest son was there. Trusting that the mother of all, without suffering or fear, observed all the colors united in the son of the sun. Without voice or lament, they looked around. I knew then that the day would be sad, but a better time would come. The hummingbird that goes on the rise, facing 20 times 20 of his brothers, which is the same as saying infinity or many, who tried to control the wrath of the sun. In the new fire he will be remembered, they say. The greatness of a single vein that ended the pain. All those who knew that faithful truth in the new fires. In the new fire, that story was remembered. So many arrogant, merciless, and destroyers do not deserve to be considered in Mictlan. They have lived long enough and they have not wanted to understand. Before lighting the new fire, they must disappear. Coatlicue, the mother of the hummingbird that goes on the rise. Fragments of the text written by Daniel NECROL. This is how, at that time, Coatlicue was seen with Huitzilopochtli, the son of Coatlicue. In these times, everything is distorted. The whole story all of cosmogony or cosmology, however you want to say it. They misrepresent everything, they misunderstand it. Always it's all in favor of Eurocentrism. We must put Eurocentrism aside because it's like corruption. It affects everything it touches and even more so when combined with religion. If you look at it from one perspective, it is not only about the hummingbird, that I am telling you about the end of his cycle, that before they contemplated it with each new fire, they contemplated again and again because they knew about the cycles. And in these times, it seems that all that culture of thinking about the nature of cycles has been lost. Most people don't care about history, much less the cycles, which repeat themselves over and over again, and that we are falling into the same problems of the past. Only today we are more and each problem is bigger. If we don't open our eyes now, the smallest of naturals will eliminate us. What do I want to say with that? Well, I leave you homework there. June 16. A month after laying her first egg, here we see that he still feeds them. Contrary to other texts of someone who wrote it after that, I came across in which he mentioned that this species of hummingbird took 2 to 3 weeks to take flight and leave the nest, which we see here is not true. This is the broad-billed hummingbird, and it takes about 4 weeks to hatch a young. Although it usually incubates 2 eggs in each nest and can take up to 6 weeks approx when the chicks leave the nest. There are species that can incubate more. I have heard and read that some have hatched 4. It is hard work for this bird. Although it is very adept at foraging. This breeding season, it will be more difficult for it to find food. Due to the deforestation of natural habitats, many animals, not only the hummingbird, they are forced to move for this reason, although others have adapted. How many hummingbirds fit in our urban environment? How many will fit in the future? If young people are less and less interested in planting a tree, planting a plant, planting flowers, in short understanding and feeling empathy for nature, we will have to teach them, show them, that not only virtual animals and pets should be of interest to them. You often hear that people want to see birds fly and butterflies, but they use insecticides with precaution and destroy what little there is, what little is left. Seeing a spider and they kill it. Seeing an insect and they kill it. Most of the time, and most people value another thing, lifeless, more than an animal, plant, and even more than a fungus. And some unconscious and ignorant people release their pets on the streets. Song for You Forever, from the album Vision of Mictlan by NECROL. Estar contigo es como una bendición. No sé qué haría si no hubieras llegado a mi corazón. Sentirte cerca me duplica la pasión. Y no hay momento en que no quieras sentir tu calor. Para siempre, para siempre, para siempre, para siempre, para siempre. Es por eso que te pienso, me fío y contemplo que tú estarás a mi lado hasta la muerte. Y por eso no detengo mi paso siguiente en el camino que me ha de llevar hasta ti. Para siempre, para siempre, para siempre, para siempre, para siempre. The speed with which it moves its wings is greater than 60 times per second. It is what it says. And this quality, apart from the way it moves its wings, makes it possible that it can even stay in the same place flying, fly backwards and upside down. Although this latter is only a resource that uses very little. This video is with the special dedication to my mother and my father. I wish that they know that without your support, this not can be possible. And I need have to say thanks to you for all. And greetings to my family and friends too. You know who you are. We must take care of nature, not because we are told to do so, but because we must. When one watches the hummingbirds fly, it is as if it shows something else, as if he were talking to you, saying to you, telling you what he has seen, what he has heard, but one in his ignorance and his capacity is not able to understand it. Some people claim to be able to communicate with animals, and there are those who judge them crazy. Maybe one day we will understand what animals think. Meanwhile, we have to keep them existing and coexisting with us. The immoderate felling of trees in natural areas is about human activity that leads to habitat destruction. The fragmentation of these areas creates a degradation, and in the end, it's destruction. Habitats change gradually over the years, the change being almost imperceptible, forcing animals to change their way of life and migrate to another place, thus being a domino effect of destruction, with change in all ecosystems. The variation is extensive that every human being is need to contribute to documenting and caring for habitats and natural species. Instead of keeping birds in captivity, plant a tree. Plant endemic plants from your geographical area where you live that have flowers, and so you will see hummingbirds more often. Controlling the cat infestation is also good advice. There are many species that are not endemic to the areas where human beings circulate, and we destroy everything in our path without realizing it. So, we have to put a little on our part to take care of all the small species that go unnoticed out there. Very few people pay attention to what is coming in the future. In the future, when there are no longer so many birds like this, so many species that very few consider, we will see a real change, but not in our favor. It is time for all of humanity to get to work on it, to care for and preserve all species on the planet, all that can. We will not be able to keep everything forever, but we will try not to destroy it. Try to confine our activities to one place and let others live too. All the species, all the other little animals that can also live. And well, that's all I can say about the hummingbird for the moment. I hope to document something else later, and greetings to all the people. For all the people of Abismados, greetings to all. See you later. Nos vemos la próxima.